Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you guys are having a great afternoon, loving the volatility in the market. This is amazing. And we do have Dan from Flow Trade coming on at 12:30, so hopefully we don't have any issues with that. Hopefully everything is on the up and up with that. So let me know if you guys have any issues with feedback or anything like that when we are doing the live stream. So let's go ahead and get into the market, right? So let's look at the SPY, right? We've got the SPY right here. And really, if we break below that 335.20 level, that was my area, hey, if we go ahead and we break below this, we could have a potential pullback. Now, oops, I did not need to move that one. Here, I'll move this one, and then I can move that back. So if we were to go ahead, I had my potential long level right down here. Hey, if we are able to go ahead and break above, potential move to the upside. We are having that right now. Are we going to go ahead and test up here? Now, hey Stephanie, hey Julio, so far so good. So far so good what? As far as the sound. Awesome, thanks for that. Well, we shall see, Julio. You guys know I do follow the dark pools. If you guys don't know what that is, it's where the really big hedge funds go ahead and they place all of their trades. And I actually just finished teaching in the training pit for today. And we try to keep it pretty simple, right? I have it right here. This is what we think. Dark pool happens, it goes above the bullish above level, then we go long or we buy calls. Breaks below, then we sell the stock or we buy puts. So we have seen lots of dark pool activity. I also want to remind you guys that we are 6 months to the day from the drop below. Now, I have this here too. This is from a PowerPoint presentation that I did. Do you believe the stock market is manipulated? You guys might have seen these slides before. And we had, look, 21 million, 18 million, 11 million prints. That is from the Java Pit files. And we had subsequently, end of February, 55 million, 20 million on the SPY. We're talking billions of dollars. So where did we go from there, right? This was January. We had a little pullback. Then we hit a new high, and then they tanked it. So we're seeing somewhat of the similar activity. Doesn't mean we're at the top just yet, but we're seeing similar activity. So you guys know, if you want to follow these crazy prints, come over to the training pit at thedarkpools.com, and you guys can learn all about it and be ready for the massive potential move that could be coming and know exactly when to go ahead and take action. Yesterday I did mention some of the activity that I saw with the next day sales. Don't know, maybe that's going to be a indication. I did do some homework last night and I looked at the next day sales from back in February 19th, just before the 20th, and lo and behold, there were a lot. So this might be something, we don't have real market makers anymore. So there are other ways in which the big guys can talk to each other around the world. And it's pretty interesting to potentially see that happen. Right now, when we look back, let's go ahead and make this my 45-minute chart. You guys know I love 45 minutes. The real big confirmation to me will be the breakdown of 332 now, right here. This breakdown right here would be a super uber confirmation that, you know what, our time is done. We are going to head down to the downside, just looking at it technically. Forget the dark pool, just looking at it technically. And when we go back and we assess it, everybody wants to pick the absolute top, especially for the shorts. When we go back and we look at the 19th on our 45-minute chart, Let's go ahead and go there. We are pretty much we're below, oh, I moved it down though, that 339.08. We are below it, but where are we in relation? Let's do this. Better yet, let me zoom in. I love this software. This is TradingView if you guys don't know. All right, so we had a box of consolidation and then we dropped below. You see how here we tested that and then we really broke below it. So what happened? We came pretty close on the 20th. Sure enough, it bounced up, hit our moving averages right here. This is the 50 simple moving average, and here's our 200 simple moving average, right? So if we're looking at it, we hit the trend lines. Here's that yellow line that we are below now on our 45-minute chart for today. Oh man, bad scientist, that's it, you're fired. So bringing us to today, this is that same yellow line. We're holding below it. Does this look similar to you guys at all? We came down to the 200 simple moving average, pulled below almost to that 425 EMA. We're testing that 50 simple moving average up at 338. If history repeats itself and we're not able to go ahead and break above this, seatbelts, as we like to say in our training room, seatbelts might be important for everybody to put on. Just be aware, be aware. If you guys see that maybe this goes below 332 and we've seen heavy dark pool activity, I would love for you to profit. I would love for you to protect your positions and say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and sit on the sidelines until it really looks bullish again, or profit to the downside, right? I don't want anyone to end up losing money, and so try to help educate you guys the best way possible. We do have Dan coming up, like I said, in just a couple minutes from Flow Trade. But let's look at some other stocks that were on my list today. You guys know I do my live stream in the morning on Ticker Talker of building my list. And then I share it on my website at cjanetrade.com. So I had Yandex as a potential long today, and it doesn't want to change for me. There we go. So I said, hey, it's going to be potentially bullish above $64. Or if we break down below 63, well, now slowly having that curl back to the downside. Target as well. Target came up, it set new highs, and then if it dropped below 154.60, potential short. Sure enough, we had that nice move to the downside. BJ's, all of the big box stores had better than expected earnings. It's had a nice run up into earnings, and then hey, if this support was broken right here, potential short. Look at that in the first half an hour, and there's my favorite EMA again. If you guys don't have the 425 EMA on your chart, go ahead and put it on. It's pretty cool how everything respects it. Now, American Airlines had a crazy surge up last week, had a lot of volume that came into it, and now we're just slowly rolling down that hill. They had a huge bounce from $8 up to 22, our 200 simple moving average, and then pulled back down slowly, found support around 1080, bounced up to 1480 here, and now it looks like we're rolling down. I did get an alert that it broke down below 1232 this morning, so definitely was on watch. I would like this down below $10 as a potential longer term swing. Oh, that's a different Stephanie. Stephanie Cummings is different from Stephanie Cameraman. That's funny, Asa. All right, let's look at Fastly, Julio. All right, so Fastly on our daily chart, it had that consolidation right around that trend line from before, and we have higher than expected volume right now. So it could go ahead and run up from here. If we do break above that 94.50 area, we have a nice gap trade up to 106, so it could have that nice run up above. Yeah, let's look at Haas as well today. And Nvidia had a nice run up as well. They almost hit 500 again today. So Haas, we have it. It was hitting this moving average. Look at how many times. Everyone says, Jane, you have so many moving averages. This is the reason why. If a stock in particular wants to go ahead and sell off, Exactly, Stephanie. She does spell it with an F. If a stock wants to sell off and there's an algorithm that's going to sell it off at a certain EMA, you will see that perform time and time again. So right now, Hasbro looks like it's had strong resistance up here. It looks like potentially bearish move to come to the downside. 79.80. I would put maybe $80 as my potential stop if I was going to go short this. Volume is dropping off. It's starting to descend. It's broken below the 21 EMA on the daily. Looks like it could have a potential move to the downside, at least on down, test the 20 simple right here, 76.56. Potential move down to 75.60 down here, 75.50, our 50 simple moving average, and then keep on going down to the downside right here if it were to go down from there. 71.67 right here at this moving average. If it breaks below that, watch out. We could hit 69, and then technically with the candlestick 68.80, $68, and so on down. This might end up being the top euphoria stage of the market, as I mentioned yesterday. So just be prepared, right? Be nimble in the market, especially when all the bears start to pile in. We could see a big move. Kiki, how does stock count the profits as and explain how can one target the strike point? I'm not sure what you're asking, Kiki, in that question. Is there a way that you could rephrase that? And I'd be happy to try to answer that for you. So let's also look at the Qs, right? So the Qs on our daily, we're testing that high. If we close below 278 to the downside right here, then I would say, hey, we are not able to go ahead and stay up above that 278 level. And so we had massive volume yesterday. If we're not able to hold that 278 level, watch out. That might be people loading up here to go ahead and take it down. We will always see higher highs before we see a sell-off that does happen. All right, so let me go ahead and see if I can get Josh set up on. Yes, I did see CNK. There was some activity on it yesterday as well. They just announced an offering as well for additional shares. Yep, it did. It did, Julio. Let's see. You cannot. Okay, hold on. All right. Let's see. Can you hear me now, Josh? All right. Can you hear me now, Josh? How about now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Josh? Testing 1, 2, 3. Yes, awesome. Okay, if you want to go ahead and put your screen sharing on, and I can't hear you yet. Are you? No. And I do have my volume up. Do you have yourself muted by any chance at the bottom? Let me see if I can unmute you, if I have the control to do that. All right. I see your volume is good. I cannot hear you. Can you guys hear Josh talking? Hold on. Let's see. I might have to send you a brand new let's see. I'm going to make you the host to share your screen, but I still cannot hear you as of yet. So let me see what I can do on that end. 2 seconds, guys. Always gotta love when there's difficulties. So participants. Let's see. Speakers. Okay. Let's try it now. How about now, Josh?
Yep.
I got you. Yeah, I had to change the speakers on my end.
Awesome.
All right. So,
Cool.
if you can just do your screen share now, we should be good, and I will go ahead and change it on over so everybody can hear us.
Hopefully, you'll have to let me know how it's showing up because I have like a 49-inch monitor, so.
It is showing up beautifully. Now I just need to get it on my screen. You know what? I'm just going to do this, where I'm going to change you guys so you guys can see screen capture. Selection really quickly. Is it this one? That's the one. All right. So now you guys can see, right? Okay. They can see your screen. I can see your screen. We are all good. So if you want to take it away. So this is Josh from FlowTrade, which is awesome software. I just started utilizing it myself recently. And for anyone interested the in using it, I will pop up the link in the chat right now, as well as in the description below. It's already actually in the description if you guys want to check that out. All right, take it away.
So I'll just, I'll run through all the features first, and then I'll break down the algo line, which is the main feature and the main benefit. So we have charts. You can run 4 charts, a single chart, whatever you prefer. There's kind of like black box and flow algo. We have option flow that tracks sweeps, blocks, everything. That's upgraded right now. That'll be finished at the end of the week. Then you can also track block trades, dark pool. I know that's something that you guys do a lot of, correct?
Yes, I definitely track the dark pool, and yeah, use it with the dark pool. I love it.
Yep. So then we also have a ton of videos on the different indicators, the different strategy that we do, which is all custom strategy. Those all come with it, along with all the webinars we do weekly. Here's your news source for anything. It gets filtered from fly on the wall, so you can type in a symbol. You can follow that symbol. It'll give you alerts on any recent news that pops up on that. Then that's an affiliate program. So that's the basis of it. We're also doing an upgrade as far as some other features, liquidity tracking, and a bunch of other tools that are around the tape. And that should be done at the end of the week as well. But let's get into the algo. And I don't know how much you've used this yet, but so basically, this is something that I learned from a wealth management guy who'd been managing money for movie stars and popular people in Hollywood for 30 years. And he taught me this. So it's been working for him since the 90s, since there was computerized trading, since there was behaviors to be able to be tracked online. So this is all derived from the tape. It's not an indicator that's made from price, like a moving average or a MACD or anything like that. Has nothing to do with price. It has to do with the quotes and everything that's going on the tape, with dark pool, with burst programs, buy sell programs. So what you're actually seeing is the real action that's happening on the tape. You're not seeing, when we see price, that's getting filtered. When you see the timing sales on most brokers, you're not seeing all the action. So a lot of people get into the software and they want to look at it and they think it's like an indicator, so it gets confusing. And if you can watch this and understand that you're seeing what's really happening behind the scenes rather than anything else, then it benefits you. So there's multiple ways to use this. One of the ways, I have some images that we'll use, and we'll start with those so that I can break them down early. And you'll have to excuse me. There's probably screenshots.
No worries.
Yeah.
I do have a question that somebody has asked. How does it compare to Flow Algo? I don't use Flow Algo. I've never used it, so I couldn't tell you.
So Flow Algo is, they have dark pool and that, but they track options and this right here. So they track the sweeps and the blocks and people that try to follow option flow money. So that's their feature right here. And then they also have dark pool. Nobody has this out there. There's the guy that taught me how to do this is the only other person that offers this service to anyone, and he charges $800 a month. And I paid $800 a month for 3 years trading and learning this. So nobody else has this side of things. Hopefully that answers it.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Okay, so this is an example of how we're using this and how we're ahead of everybody else. So here's XLE, and if you guys remember when oil was just getting demolished, this line represents the real buying that's happening. So once the programs start buying and the burst programs overtake the selling, this is what you'll see. And that doesn't necessarily reflect on paid because they're always ahead of retail. They're always ahead of the game. When price starts turning and running, they're not starting to buy at that point. They're already positioned. They're already ready to sell to retail. So when we see this and we're tracking this and we start to see divergence, and this is one of the trades off of this, the divergence trade. This is 100% free money every time. So price is declining and the programs are buying. This line right here where the separation of divergence occurred, that point right there, price will trade back to that point 100% of the time. Every single time that happens, the price will return to that. So what we do is once we spot the divergence, then we use technicals, big blocks, dark pool trades, whatever, to find our entry point, and we'll take that trade up to that point. Now, if they continue buying past that entry point, then it's going to continue to push. So,
really quickly, Josh, I still see the team and Intel and Tesla and Docu charts. I don't.
Oh, it didn't come over it, huh?
Yeah, I don't think so. Sorry about that.
Get that. Let me see here.
You might have selected the window instead of a screen, if that makes sense, to share.
Okay, so your screen sharing, new share.
Yes, Julio, this is real time. Julia was saying, is this real time? I've seen the HFT alert, which has something similar. It tracks the buy and sell programs.
What? Man, how do I switch that out? Share.
Is it it's not possible to make it a tab, is it? Or if you can shoot it over to me.
Oh yeah, I can do that if you want.
And then I could share it. But then you don't get to see it.
Let me try this.
Yeah.
And we'll switch up here and I'll just run through these ones that I have. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm not a Zoom professional.
Neither am I. And
Okay.
let's see.
Does that show up?
Yes.
XLE.
You got it. Yep. We see XLE. Perfect.
Okay, so basically that's what I was running through. I'll skim through that again because I had no idea what I was talking about. So this line is tracking the buying programs, and like I said, they're going to be ahead. So as everyone's dumping and they're deciding they're going to load up their position, we see them start to buy on this. So what we're looking for is divergence. The price going down, algos are buying the decline. That point of separation, the divergence, is our target. That's what's going to happen. That's what we're going to trade back to every time. So then we find an entry for it. Now, if they continue to buy, obviously it's going to continue going in that direction. It's a very, very simple setup. So throughout the day, we're alerting divergence on XLE, divergence on NVIDIA, divergence Netflix, throughout the day. So the trick is, this is free trade, it's free money. The trick is to find the entry at that point. So it's having good technical analysis, being able to know where the turns are, where things are going to grab support, to be able to execute the trade. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So that's a simple step for that. Let me see. Here's another example. Here's Amazon. You got heavy buying all day long. So any decline that we see in price is an opportunity for us. That's how we view it, rather than somebody's being in a position. So even if I took this position here and this starts to dump on me, I'm not even going to worry about it. I'll add to my position because this is 100% coming back to that point of divergence. And if it dumps farther, it's just a bigger opportunity for me.
Got it.
Let's see, what else do we got here?
Someone says props on the dashboard. It looks like the UNX designer did a great job, by the way.
Thank you. And so there's a 15-minute chart setup, which this is a 15-minute chart setup, and that's a bigger, longer move. So they're a little trickier to find your entries because that divergence can grow really big, and it can get scary if you get in at the wrong time. I've had $100 divergence on Tesla before and had it all trade out. So these 15-minute charts are bigger swing plays and a lot more money. But here's another example of Tesla declining, and they're buying it up the whole time, and that was actually $300. So it stopped at 351. They started buying as soon as it was selling around 668. So you can imagine watching this set up, and they're buying this whole time this is dumping, and you know that it's going to turn around for $300.
Right.
It's real nice.
Now, do you,
Google,
for those bigger, for the bigger time frames, for those swing trades, for example, are you then looking at a 1 minute or 2 minute HF, chart as well for your entry, or are you just going to base it solely off of the 15-minute chart?
No, I absolutely. So all we're doing for the 15-minute chart is obviously realizing that it's a bigger play and it's going to take longer to play out. I still, me personally, have all my tools. All my execution for me is on a 2-minute chart so that I can get precision. We do a lot of multi-time frame stuff, so I take a lot of 4-hour daily 30-minute indicators and have them laid onto my 1-minute chart. So yeah, it doesn't change the entry or the strategy. It's just letting you know, hey, this is going to be a bigger, longer move. So plan out for a slower turnaround. And so here's an example of a 1-minute chart. As far as the 1-minute chart, those are going to play out the same day, 90% of the time. I've only seen a handful of them play out the next day, and they ended up playing out in pre-market or first thing in the morning. And this is what we do most of the time, is everyone's day trading. We're taking these trades. So here's another example. They're heavy selling all day long. Price starts to move up. We know where it's going, back down to 421. So my entry was 15-minute top, which is something that we designed, and boom, right off of it, I take that entry, $8, $7 drop.
Very cool. Now, somebody's asking, do you track the iceberg orders as well of the dark pool?
Yes, absolutely. So nothing's getting iced to us. Because
is it possible to enlarge the photo a little bit?
This one?
Yeah, we see it just as the, like a... Perfect, that's better, much better, thank you.
Okay. Yes, iceberg. Every single thing that hits the tape, we see. So yeah, you don't see iceberg orders or anything like that on any of the brokers, but everything that gets printed on the actual tape, we're tracking.
Got it. And this one, you don't have any sort of volume profile. Someone's saying it's kind of similar to Bookmap, which has the volume profile where you can see it on top of the chart. This is strictly price action and HFT and block prints, correct?
Yeah, it's behavior, right? So it's not volume. So volume profile is going to let you know, hey, we got a ton of buyers right here. There's a gap right here. There's a ton of buyers here. This has nothing to do with that. This is telling you the behavior of the programs when buying is overtaking the selling, which creates a change in direction, and there's a lot more that goes into it. So this is telling you the direction that things are happening. So not only the divergence trade is our treat, right? It's free money, and when we see that, we take that play. But it's also used to confirm the direction, to stay in a trade longer. If you see the buying, you're getting to resistance points, and they're still buying heavy, we're going to hold longer. It's giving you the direction up, down, regardless of the divergence trade. So those are just an added benefit. The other thing is, all the patterns, I'm going to switch the screens here.
Yep. And someone's saying, how do you deal with spoofing? Julio, do you mean spoofing on level 2? I'm waiting for him to come. Yeah.
Quote spoofing has no reflection on the buying or selling that's controlling the direction. Switch back to this one. And so when you see, cup and handles, when you see trend lines, and you see those different scenarios happen, they form back here first. So another way that we're using using it is to be able to track their trend. So I can track the trend here if they're in a channel and know if that channel breaks, that section's done and whatnot. Also, with higher highs, if the algos come up and they decide, for example, right here on team, if you guys can see, so we get a spike into the high right here, then they turn around and they decide not to make a new high themselves.
Right.
So I don't have to use price because you don't know what's actually happening on price. When I see this happen in the back end, I know it's done. So they failed to make a new high and to continue to buy, and they start selling off. And you'll see right here a little tiny divergence set up as they're selling this, and it has a little retrace up. Boom, it comes back down. The other thing is, this is a great example actually. So you have this this can tell you the direction at any moment. So you have this little selling right here, this divergence, and as soon as that trades out right there, the programs go flat. They don't continue to sell, and they start to buy. So that means this is going to reverse. The selling is done. They tapped it out right there. They start to buy. Boom, easy run up right there. Another $3 gimme.
Now, can you show us, for example, the indexes, how people can very easily sit, wait, and cover their cost in really one trade if they're just patient to watch it?
Absolutely. So as far as indexes, SPY, VIX, what else?
Qs.
So me personally, I'm not a big index guy. A lot of people are though, but that's another thing. You can simply, a lot of guys in the room will use VIX to tell them the direction. A lot of guys will use SPY, use them both to shift on it. I think I have did that come up on the screen?
Yes.
The image I brought did?
Yeah, it did.
Oh, sweet.
We just need it bigger. There we go. If you can enlarge it, please. Yeah. Awesome. Perfect. Thank you.
So here's VIX. Obviously, you know how the market goes and controls. Here's VIX dumping for the day right here. They're buying it up though, so what do we know? We know that since they're buying it up, that's probably going to shift SPY to make it go down. They're buying VIX up, so while this price action is happening and people see VIX going down, they're thinking, well, SPY is going up. SPY is going to go up. That's how it works. But actually, we see what's going to happen because they're a step ahead all the time. They're buying it nonstop, so it's going to push up.
Very cool. So you could have potentially bought puts on the SPY, seeing that they're buying it up and dropping the VIX as an overnight swing.
Absolutely. Basically, anything that you use, your style of trading or however you trade is going to give you the edge because you're going to actually see what's happening. You can have, the best system in the world, which, I'm biased, but I felt like I did for a long time until I met that guy that showed me this. But really, you're speculating no matter what. Your analysis can be, top-notch, but you're speculating if you don't know what happens behind the scenes. This gets you as close to eliminating that and knowing the truth behind everything that you can get without, I guess, insider trading.
For sure. Now, how, for example, does it work with things like Kodak that might be a lower float and might not have the same amount of volume as the SPY?
Right. So that's a great question. So if there's something with light volume, it can be tricky, right? Because you're going to see the algo line selling, and it might be only some shares, so it can get tricky, and you have to take that into consideration because the line can turn back around and spike up, and it can get real volatile with it on those lower volume. But as far as low cap, penny stocks, whatever, it's still going to give you the information you need ahead of time, and not always, not always those runners that rip $30-40 do they start buying ahead of time. Sometimes it's just a squeeze and it's a fluke, and they'll just join the party, what it will do though in those scenarios is tell you when you're at the top, like this, and when that craziness is done.
Got it. Okay. That was a question that we had. I'm looking to see if we have. Do you guys have any other questions that you would like to see? Now, one thing that I definitely use on it are the block trades and the dark pools. Can you show those to some people as well, please?
Let me show you that feature on here. So
Yeah.
we'll go back to that, and I'll show you how you can look them up. But you can also click the block trades in the dark pool, and they'll come up on your screen to give you your levels, which is a way that a lot of people trade. So as far as the divergence setups, that I was talking about, they'll use those for their entries. So they'll all populate on here, and I'm not sure how you guys use them as far as, probably bullish above, bearish below, just flat out resistance, but right here they'll print on the screen, they'll give you the most current ones, they'll give you the price and the amount. The other thing you can add to this too is we have a moving average that's helpful for new people, because the algo line can get a little sporadic sometimes. So for these scenarios, when it's bouncing around, it'll smooth it out, so you don't get scared. And then let's go to the block trade section. So here we're just looking up the blocks. I'll tell you the price, the value, the date, the size of the block. You can filter for regular or dark or all, 500K minimum, 1 million minimum, and that's pretty simple. So it's the same search on the option flow. If I want to look at SPY, it's going to pull up all the strikes. I can filter by highest, I can filter by recent expiry, I can look by just sweeps, just blocks. The update we're doing is we're adding a put to call ratio flow here, and a few other things I forget, and then I'd have to go with Dan to work on this.
Yeah, we have a question here too. Julio is saying, does it have the price levels for the dark pool prints, the size, and the date? So I know, Julio, I can attest to it has the price level and the date, but I do not see the size on there. And I think that'd be an awesome thing to put on the block and dark trades, is to have a date feature. So you might be able to say, hey, like February 19th of 2020, all of the dark pool prints that you guys, if you guys have that ability, that'd be a cool upgrade.
On the actual charts?
No, right here where you have that block and dark trades, there to be able to see the date, like a date sort as well.
Right here, August 20th, the time, it's on the far right.
Right,
so
but
this is all dated.
Yeah, for sure. But what I'm saying is, if you wanted to look back in the past, potentially.
Got it, search.
You got it. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. That's an easy add. Yeah, we'll add that.
Yeah, cool.
So what would you think is the optimal time that you'd look back to, as far back?
Well, you know what? Now we're back at the highs that we were back at February. So I would want to see, hey, what am I looking at? So maybe a year. I don't know, potentially. Okay. I don't know how far back your data goes if you hold on to that data for that long. But looking back at the price level, hey, what potentially searching between a price level and then searching a date, if that's
Perfect.
An option. Just a thought.
That's another good point that you brought up. I'm glad too. So this is built for the trader, right? This is not built, we made this to help traders have all their tools in one place and give them an advantage. So we're completely open to adjusting, to changing, taking new features. That's why we're doing an upgrade right now, because a bunch of users made some suggestions that they wanted to see. So it's an open community for ideas and growth. It's a platform for traders, made by traders.
Yeah, and also being able to share the charts, that'd be cool too. I know.
To social media.
Yeah, exactly. Like
yeah,
social media.
Added actually.
Yeah.
It's in the process. Cool. What else?
Very nice. Do you guys have any other questions? Julio, you've had some amazing questions. Do you guys have any other questions that you would like to see? I know he was asking, does it have the dates on it? I know, at least for me, on the 15-minute chart on the SPY, if you pull that up, please, Josh, you can see that you have your yellow ones that would be the block trades, and then the blue are going to be your dark pool trades. So
others, I see.
yeah, yeah, you're good. Oh,
Yeah.
either way.
Regular.
Yeah.
Will be there. Dark, and it gets filtered somewhat like that in the options.
Yeah. And so you can see those same blue will show up on the chart as a dark pool trade, and then a yellow, if you choose yellow as your color for the regular block trades, then you'll know which is a dark trade and which one is a block trade. And it's cool to see where we are in the SPY and how you can look back and you can see starting on Tuesday, they really started selling as the price was going up. And where did we come back to? That divergence again.
Right.
It came back to that divergence pretty much of where it crossed over and started selling right there.
Yeah, sometimes you see divergence, you see something happening, and you're just like, no way, it's not going to drop $30. But it happens.
All right. So any other questions, guys? I'm going to go ahead and also clip out the Zoom portion so you guys can see it a little bit better. And we'll just have that edited and I'll put it up for you guys if you have any questions. And again, the link, if you guys want to try out Flow Trade, is in the description and also right here in the chat. And so far I've used it, I'd say, since the beginning of the month, and I'm loving it. I'm loving to see the high frequency indications of where they're moving as well as the prints. Julio, the prints, when the print comes from what I see on other data sources, he's asking adding time helps to see whether they have delayed prints. You know, Julio, the dark pool prints have to be reported within 3 hours of the trade happening unless they route it through an overseas desk. So either way, it's a dark pool print. They can be delayed, and the real-time block trades that are not dark pool will happen immediately. All right. Well, I thank you so much, Josh. Is there anything else that you would like to add? I think we went over pretty much everything about it. Oh, you know what? We didn't go over the watch list and the scans really.
Oh, you're right. Completely.
Yeah.
So another thing that's being upgraded. Right here, your watch list, you can collapse it if you want to take the whole screen up or bring it back out. You just add to it, click on them, filter through it. Then you have scans here. There's about 10 more different scans being added. We have harmonics, we have the Celts and all their time frames. We have a bearish flow, bullish flow, and then cycles, which is a custom indicator by one of our admin, which is very good. But yeah, pretty simple, pretty cut and dry. There'll be some scans added to this at the end of the week with the update, and any users that suggest scan or want to build anything, also you take in. There's Elliott Wave Scanner that's getting added at the end of the week too, which is phenomenal.
Very cool.
Yeah, pretty basic there.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Josh. And if you guys have any questions, you can reach out to me or reach out to Josh and Dan at Flow Trade. I'll put all of the information down below. And again, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming in and sharing the demo with everybody.
Thank you guys. Have a good day.
Thanks. You too. Bye.
Bye.
All right, thank you guys for joining us. Next Thursday, I'm going to likely have another guest on to demo some software that I use. Still in the works for that, but if you guys ever have any questions, you guys know you can always reach out to me at jane@cjanetrade.com. And you know what, happy times, Josh is already gone, but I will see if I can find out if they have any Wyckoff scans. I know they are working on updating the software and really bringing it to market. So it's amazing that it's a newer software that is coming to the marketplace. So they are really trying to customize it for traders to understand how to use it to the best of their ability so that it can also appeal to many traders. All right. So have an amazing afternoon. I will see you all tomorrow at 12:15 Again, Carpe Profit, seize those profits one trade at a time. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at jane@cjanetrade.com. Bye.